If you've been into Pokemon for a while, so let's say a couple years, you can notice a difference in pricing for cards, sealed products, just in general. Modern cards were overprinted, nobody wanted sealed, investors were leaving. Now, the exact opposite conversation is happening. People are scrambling to find products. Pokemon Center exclusives are selling out. 151 keeps climbing, Crown Zenith keeps climbing, and newer sets are seeing incredible demand. And the biggest thing I've noticed is that we're seeing a new wave of participants in the hobby as well. Not just collectors, not just players, investors. People who missed Evolving Skies, people who missed the 151, people who watched sealed products triple and quadruple. And now they don't want to miss out on the next opportunity. That's bringing an enormous amount of money into the market. So talking about enormous money into the market, I think the biggest example of that is Ascended Heroes. Ascended Heroes is a very, very new set. Like, look, even I fell for the trap, if you can see behind me. It's not even really a, I think Ascended is still going to climb and grow, but right now everyone is watching this set, and what makes Ascended unique isn't just the cards, it's the supply structure. So unlike traditional booster boxes driven releases, much of the product is tied into ETB's specific products. That changes how the supply enters the market. And there's some big chase cards in there as well, but comparing this, trying to understand all these new investors that are coming in, I think Ascended is like a clear indicator, because it is a new set. It is going to keep getting printed for 3 years. It is going to keep going. Supply is going to keep coming out for the next 3 years. But the fact that you can buy it at your local Target or your Walmart or Best Buy for $60 and the secondary market's 180 is mind blowing to me. Like, just alone, you can see the Tree Pikachu, the Gengar, all their big cards, and they're jumping up an insane number. So what's with these big jumps, right? With these cards, when people have demand for cards, they're going to want to grade them. So this is where PSA enters the story. Not only has there been a lot of new collectors and investors in the hobby, a lot more money and a lot more growth into cards, PSA has changed everything pretty much. I want to make a video about the history of PSA. But right now, PSA stopped taking cards in for the most part. The cheapest way to get a card graded with PSA is $80. $80. People are still doing it. People are still grading with PSA. And the fact that PSA, one of the biggest graders, stopped grading. Tag also stopped grading. Not entirely, but if you wanted to grade a card, the cheapest is $80 and it's still going to take 2 months. About 40 to 50 business days is the cheapest option. That playing into the role of a lot of new investors coming into the hobby, bringing a lot more money into the hobby. Everything has been inflating. Is this going to be forever? I don't know. This market's insane. I've never seen, I've been collecting Pokemon since I was a kid. I started collecting in 2016. I had, the bubble Gengar. I've had a couple really cool Gengar was my guy. Darkrai is my guy. Those are my guys. I have binders of them. But I remember going to a grocery store and be able to buy a pack or an ETB and be able to open it. I remember when cards were pretty reasonable priced. It wasn't so much money. But right now, in the year 2026, it has exploded like crazy. And I remember when 2020, 2021, Pokemon started going up through the roof. I don't want to say it's Logan Paul, but it probably was Logan Paul that did it because he got into it. I remember as a kid watching those streams and a lot of people watching those videos. So the market, and then it started dying down a bit and everything started to ease off and be like, okay, that's cool. But the last year, and especially in 2026, every graph you look at for Pokemon cards, the majority of them are up an insane number. Sealed products are up an insane number. Insane. People are making a ton of money by just holding sealed products. People are making a ton of money with investing in cards. This is a perfect example. I was getting back really into it in February. So I've been collecting for a couple months now. I mean, I collected as a kid, but collecting, heavy collecting, I started in February, and I found out about Crown Zenith. I'm like, this set is so cool. I love this set. I want to get all the Crown Zenith cards. I got all the Crown Zenith, the gold cards, PSA 10s, Dialga, Palkia, Arceus, and Giratina, and I got it for about $1,000. And I just sold it recently for $2,000. I literally doubled the amount of money I put in there. And I'm not trying to say this in like the investing standpoint. It's just shocking to me, like how much cards have gone up in value in the last couple months, in just year alone. So many people are getting into this hobby and bringing money in because I think there's been so many headlines of people being like, oh, I'm getting into be like, I made this such a return. It's better than the stock market. This return's crazy. Like, I'm surprised no one else is doing it. Like, if you started investing in 1999 or got the first ever box, you're up over $400,000. I met a guy that has the first ever booster box, first edition, shadowless, blah, 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 worth $500,000. Mind blowing to me. He told me he bought it for $40. He bought it for $40 and now it's worth $500,000. All these stories, I think, is adding into these insane prices for cards. And I want to also talk about a couple of examples here too as well. But the reason why PSA no longer grading cards, slabs maybe get a premium. I know this is up to debate, but with all these cards coming in here, PSA is backlogged 10 million cards right now. The market is very interesting. I have no clue, honestly, what the future is going to be like for Pokemon. I would love to talk to y'all in the comments down below what you guys think, what in the world is happening to this market, especially when the 30th comes out. 30th is going to be insane. The 30th is going to be, I don't even know what in the world is going to happen when the 30th comes out. We have a couple more sets coming out. We got Pitch Black. There's a Rayquaza set. We have the 30th set, and there's also be a Lucario set. It's going to be insane. It is going to be insane. And Pokemon's like, sure, people just keep buying. People love it. We're just going to keep printing, right? Like, let's keep printing. Why not? Let's keep it rolling. It's an insane market. It is insane. Talking about, so there's been Crown Zenith. Then there's been 151. And I think people are realizing the sealed products alone end up being worth more than the cards inside. I made videos about it going really into detail, but 151 is a great example. At 151, the ETB is $700. The biggest card in is a Charizard, about $400 to $450. All these sealed products are becoming worth more than the biggest card in the set. That's why so many investors are coming in. If they're so if you want to know why all this hype is coming into Pokemon, all these new people are coming into Pokemon, well, the answer is right here. The answer is sealed. The answer is all these stories and headlines of people making insane returns by just investing in sealed products. Everyone is realizing, oh my gosh, especially investors. All the Wall Street people are be like, so you're telling me if I hold this random box for like 10 years, it's going to return better than the stock market? And everybody's like, yeah, pretty much. Okay, $10 million, right? That's what's happening in here. It's like so many people are finding out about the returns. If 151 was like 60, 70 bucks, 151 was everywhere 3 years ago. Everyone could open 151 really cheaply, but you're telling me booster bundle is $180. The ETP is $700. It is crazy. If I go up to an investor and tell them, hey, do you want to make pretty much a guaranteed 20x return, or do you want to make a 5x return in 3 years? They'll be like, oh, yeah, sure. Tell me about it. Is it a scam? No, it's just Pokemon. Like, this market is crazy. And Pikachu here. Look at this market right now. If you go back into 6 months, you see that it's like 480, 505. And then it's just shot up like crazy. People are making insane returns. All these investors are seeing that all these cards are just shooting up in value. And personal story is I bought this card for about $700 to $800, and I flipped it when it was high. I flipped it at $1150 because I thought, that'd be great. And it was for a kid, like a Fender's kid. They were gonna rip and reseal it. But then so it went down. I was like, okay. I actually started to feel bad. But then it just shot up like crazy. Look at that. Insane. I ended up actually buying this card again for, don't hate me, $1,500 because it was a super clean copy. And I wanted to get this card in a 10 because I genuinely love this card. I think this card is amazing. And I really wanted to get a good Pikachu card. I feel good I might get a 10, but I'm going to make a whole video about that. But it is crazy what Pokemon is doing. Let's look at this Darkrai card. This is another personal example that I've had. I've loved this card. I literally, this is one of the first cards I ever got. getting back into the hobby. This is like one of the first slabs I got. I got this card in a PSA 10 for 140, basic 130, 140. I was like, this is such a sick card. I've been literally wanting this card. The market was 40. Look how much it shot up. Look at that. My slab right now is over $400. But I'm never selling this card, by the way. I am never selling this Darkrai card because it's so sick. But this is what investors are looking like. This is why there's so many investors getting in the hobby. They see these returns. If you bought it at $46, look at that return. Look at that return. I mean, that's not, that's not the right number. Like if you buy something at $50 and goes up 100, that's twice the amount. But it's still like people are doubling their money in the span of a couple months. If they're like tycoons or they have a ton of money and then a lot of new collectors are coming in and find these sets that they really like, they're going to buy it. They're going to buy a crazy amount. And I think that's what's happening because all these people have all this money and people are like, honestly, it's just going to keep going up. It's going to just keep riding up. So here's the question everyone wants answered is, are we in a bubble? Maybe the bubble is going to crash. But like the difference between now and 2021 is that the hobby is much larger. Like 2021, like, I was like, I didn't actually get into it. But like now, so many people are getting into it. More collectors, more content creators, bunch of different grading companies are just being made, more investors, especially investors, global demand, and PSA reported that Pokemon has become one of the largest grading categories in the entire hobby. If you want to know why it's backlogged so much, it is because of Pokemon and TCG. Sports cards, it was 300,000 to 400,000 they were backlogged by. That's still a lot of cards. Do not get me wrong. Pokemon is 10 million. Pokemon dwarfs sports. And sports is a whole other big market. It is insane. It is insane to the point where you got PSA, a giant in the industry that had to like not completely, but pretty much shut the doors to grading as a whole. It is crazy. So is this a bubble? Honestly, I have no clue. I would love to hear what you guys think. Investors are coming in here because they can basically be like, oh, I could get 3x, 5x return by just holding some boxes of Pokemon cards. It really is getting to that point. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like us, like we're building a business right now. We got into the hobby this year. So like as people that are getting into the hobby too, and don't hate me, I've loved Pokemon since a kid. I play the DS games. I love the show, all this stuff. Like I am truly a fan by heart. I love Pokemon. It's great. But as like investors are coming into the hobby, be like, oh, yeah, I remember Pokemon. I did that as a kid. They're learning they can make so much money from it. I wonder if there is going to be a crash. I wonder if there is, because I've noticed like a lot of things go up and then go down. Yeah, no shit, right? But like, I don't want to compare Pokemon to like crypto or NFTs, but it's starting to honestly feel like that. There are so many cards that get pumped and dumped. What people are doing right now is, and I've been talking to a lot of vendors and I realized this and I learned this. The Bulbasaur card that from First Partner, that Bulbasaur card had the little Pikachu in it. They purposely built up so much hype. They bought out that card and drove the price to be double than what it was. Example of like how crazy this market is. Look at that. Look at that. There was hype around it. I remember it being around there. And then, so if you bought a bunch of these copies at $24, look at how high it went. It doubled. $60. No, $69. $22 to $70. This is insane. Look, like if I'm an investor, I'll be looking at that and I'm just going to be amazed. I need to log in, but yeah, it is crazy. Just because there's a little hidden Pikachu right there. I just wanted to show those examples in there before I went off, but back to the video. Boop. At the time, they brought it from 30, 40 bucks to 80 bucks, 80, 70, $80. And what they can do is that they can go to card shows. They have people and they can be like, hey, the market right now is $80 for this card. And it's been holding steady for at least a couple days. I think it's going to hold. And then they find people that are willing to buy it at 70, 65, 70 bucks. They make themselves a $20, $30 profit. And it's not just a couple cards. It is thousands of cards. They find a bunch of people that are willing to buy it and they end up profiting thousands, tens of thousands of dollars at a big margin. There are so many other examples of this. Like there's They were actually trying that with the Chaos Rising Sligo. I don't know if you've seen that card, the Sligo. There's a secret Pikachu, tree Pikachus in the back of it. But it didn't work as well because it's a Sligo. It's like a Bulbasaur and a Sligo are two different things. Like the tiers of like people wanting them are, different. But it is crazy, this market. And I don't want to compare it to crypto or NFTs or trying to get the next big card or big hype because, I love Pokemon and I don't want it to be like this. But definitely feels like Pokemon as a whole has grown huge this year. And a lot of big investors are coming in. And that's why the hobby is getting to the point where it's unaffordable for the average person. This is another great example. Look at this card. So it was destined to be a higher card, but it's $800, right? Look where it's at right now, $1,300 to $1,400. That'll be a fair amount. If you bought like 100 of these at $800, you're making $500 per one. It is insane the amount of margin you can make. Let me just click on a random card. Let's just say Charizard. Why not? Let's literally. I'm not gonna select that one. That would be crazy. I want to select a moderate. Let's press on this one. Let's see how crazy this market has been. This card in February was $16. Now the market is $30. It literally doubled in a span of 3 months. Let's look at another card. Let's type Eevee. I know Eevee's gonna be, up, like crazy. That literally is just Eevee. This card's ridiculous. People were trying to make this card big because it has a Rayquaza in it. Let's pick this Eevee. Go past 6 months. So in February, it's about $11 to $12 card. Now it's doubled and about $23 to $24. These ones are. Wait a minute. Where's the condition on it? Heavily played damage. Yeah. These are damage copies. But yeah, it literally went from $11 to $12 to $24. And I'm just gonna keep going down the list. Let's say Garatina. I'm gonna say Garatina. And I'm just gonna pick a random one. Let's just say this Garatina card. Look at that. February, $11. This card's been shooting up like crazy. Absolutely crazy. Total sold. Average sold. I was about to say, has there been a buyout of this card? Because that is wild. But like, look at this graph. Investors are gonna see that and be like, well, this is what I'm talking about. You could literally pick any card and you can see that it's doubled in value in the last 3 months. Let's say, what else is there? I'll say Palkia. I'm just gonna say Palkia. Let's say this one. Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith example. Look at this. Look at this return. February, $80. Raw copy. Now it's $140. Almost double the amount in the last couple months. There are cards that people can buy, but like all the SIRs or above, or even some IRs are shooting up to the moon where you have to do a month red payment to get a card. And not everyone can do that. Not everyone can afford that, but it is very interesting. It is very interesting. So where the market sits right now is Ascended's on fire, Crown Zenith is on fire, 151 is on fire, and it is just gonna keep going up. It really is. Market is insane right now. Ascended could be worth more than 151. It really could. Honestly, I don't know the future. I don't know what the future of the hobby is. I wonder if it's gonna keep holding like this, if there's gonna be a crash, if people are just continually to get into a market until there's a reason why they shouldn't get into a market. So it's definitely scary. Like in a business standpoint, for us, it's scary because we don't know what is safe to invest into. We don't know how long this bubble will ride for. Like we made some great returns in helping us with margins for building a business, but it is going to be very interesting to see what the market is going to be like next year. I think this year it's just going to keep going up, but next year it's going to be interesting. Wait, don't go anywhere. I'll get back straight to the video, but I got to let you guys know about our website and our eBay. Website and eBay helps us keep continuing this business running as smoothly as possible. Our website has Pokemon, sports, mystery packs, all that you would need when it comes to collecting, as well as our eBay with thousands of cards on there. So if you guys don't mind checking it out, at least down below in the description, that would mean the world to me. But I'll get straight back to the video. I appreciate you guys so much. Investors are seeing this and they're like, okay, well, I have so much money. I can literally just inflate whichever market that I want to and print money. And then the hobby would be like, oh, yeah, that's right. That seems fair. The price is that because people bought it at that on TCG. And then everyone follows TCG. And then because if someone's willing to pay that much for the card, then that means that has to be the market value. Oh, man, it is crazy. I don't know what it means. It's literally, it just every graph you look at for almost every card, not every card, but a lot of cards, you could see it double or triple in value in the last couple months. It is very interesting to see where the market goes and where it leads. But I hope you guys have a great day. If you have any questions, write down below in the comments. And yeah, I'd love to have a conversation with y'all. I'm interested to see what you guys think, what the Pokemon hobby will be like. And I don't know why people keep disliking my videos. Y'all like this video. Come on now. Like this video. I'm just a guy talking about Pokemon. I'm not a scalper. So, but yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you guys have a great day. God loves you and keep collecting. Even with the market being insane, keep collecting. It's great. I love y'all. Peace.